If you are a man over 50 and feel that your energy is no longer the same, that your stamina for daily activities has decreased, or that the results of your efforts, whether in the gym or in life, are not appearing as before, know that you are not alone. This is a common complaint, a transition many men face. The big question in the air is this inevitable? Are we doomed to simply accept a less vibrant version of ourselves as the years go by? The answer, based on increasingly robust nutritional science, is a resounding no. There is a path to regain that vitality, and it can start on your plate, more specifically with your dinner tonight. We are going to dive deep into the topic, men over 50, eat this tonight for energy, stamina, and solid results, but not with empty promises. We will use science to unravel how a single food, prepared the right way, can initiate a cascade of benefits in your body. And if you're ready to discover how nutrition can be your greatest ally in this phase of life, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. That way, you won't miss any of our evidence-based tips for a longer, healthier life. What we're going to discuss today is not about a radical diet or a miraculous supplement. It's about understanding your body's biology and providing it with exactly what it needs to thrive. Fatigue and loss of strength are not just feelings. They are signs of biological processes happening at a cellular level. And it is precisely at this level that strategic nutrition can make the most profound difference, replenishing your reserves and optimizing your internal functions. To understand why a specific food can have such a big impact, first we need to talk about two silent enemies that settle in our body as the years go by: chronic low-grade inflammation and oxidative stress. Think of them as constant background noise that slowly wears down your cells. Chronic inflammation is not like the acute inflammation of a cut, which is red and painful. It's a systemic, subtle process that contributes to almost every disease associated with aging, from heart problems to stiff joints. Oxidative stress, in turn, is the result of an imbalance between the production of free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells, and the body's ability to neutralize them with antioxidants. This cumulative damage directly affects our mitochondria, the small energy powerhouses inside each of our cells. When mitochondria are damaged, their ability to produce ATP, the energy molecule, drastically decreases. The result? You feel tired, your recovery after exercise is slower, and your mind seems less sharp. It's a vicious cycle. Aging increases inflammation and oxidative stress, which in turn damage mitochondria, which accelerates the aging process and the feeling of tiredness. Therefore, any effective strategy to increase energy and stamina after 50 must fundamentally combat these two processes. We need an intervention that is potently anti-inflammatory and rich in antioxidants capable of protecting our precious cellular energy powerhouses. This is where nutrition becomes a precision tool. What would happen if we could consume something that provided our body with the exact building blocks to calm this inflammation and, at the same time, protect mitochondria from free radical damage? The answer to that question leads us directly to our star food: wild salmon, or other fatty cold water fish like mackerel and sardines. When we say men over 50 should eat this tonight for energy, stamina, and solid results, it is to this dense and powerful nutritional profile that we are referring. Salmon is not just a source of protein. It is a synergistic complex of three key nutrients that directly attack the problems we discussed. First, it is one of the planet's richest sources of long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. These are not the same omega-3s found in flax seeds or walnuts. They are the bioactive forms that the body directly uses to modulate inflammation. Second, salmon offers very high quality and bioavailable protein. This means it contains all essential amino acids in ideal proportions for the body to use them in repairing and building tissues, especially muscle mass, which is crucial for maintaining strength and an active metabolism. Third, wild salmon contains a unique and extremely potent carotenoid antioxidant called astaxanthin. It is this compound that gives salmon its characteristic pinkish color and is one of nature's most effective antioxidants in protecting cell membranes, including the membranes of our mitochondria, against oxidative stress. Together, this trio, omega-3s, high-quality protein, and astaxanthin, forms a complete nutritional strategy. They do not work in isolation, they complement each other. Omega-3s reduce systemic inflammation, creating a more favorable environment for cellular function. Protein provides the building blocks to rebuild and maintain muscle strength. And astaxanthin acts as a protective shield for the energy powerhouses that fuel the entire system. That's why the impact can be so remarkable. But let's delve a little deeper into each of these components to understand exactly what science says about them. Let's start with the crown jewel of salmon, omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. Research on these compounds is vast and convincing. One of the most studied areas is cardiovascular health. Studies published in prestigious journals like the Journal of the American Medical Association consistently show that higher consumption of fatty fish is associated with a reduced risk of cardiac events. How does this work? EPA and DHA help reduce blood triglyceride levels, can lower blood pressure, and have an antiarrhythmic effect. They essentially make the cardiovascular system more resilient and efficient. But the benefits go far beyond the heart. The human brain is composed of about 60% fat, and a significant portion of that fat is DHA. DHA is a critical component of brain cell membranes, facilitating communication between neurons. Neuroscience research, such as that published in the journal Neurology, suggests that adequate DHA levels are linked to better cognitive function, memory, and a lower risk of age-related cognitive decline. For a man over 50, this translates into a clearer, more focused mind. And inflammation? This is where EPA shines. EPA competes in the body with arachidonic acid, a pro-inflammatory omega-6. By consuming more EPA, you shift the balance, leading to the production of signaling molecules that are actively anti-inflammatory. This can mean less joint pain, faster recovery, and a reduction in that systemic inflammatory noise we mentioned. It's important to be honest about the evidence. Many studies are observational, showing associations, but a growing body of randomized clinical trials confirms these mechanisms. The scientific consensus is clear. Regular incorporation of omega-3s from marine sources is one of the most effective nutritional strategies for healthy aging. But a healthy heart and brain need a strong body to carry them. And that's where the second component of salmon comes in, directly addressing the issue of stamina and solid results. The stamina and solid results that so many men seek after 50 are intrinsically linked to the health of our muscle mass. From the age of 30, we begin to lose muscle mass in a natural process called sarcopenia, which significantly accelerates after 50 if we do not take active steps to combat it. Sarcopenia doesn't just affect your strength to lift objects or climb stairs, it impacts your entire metabolism. Muscles are metabolically active tissues, meaning they burn calories even at rest. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, a greater propensity to accumulate fat, especially in the abdominal area, and an increased risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. To combat sarcopenia, two things are essential: resistance exercise stimulation and adequate consumption of high-quality protein. This is where salmon excels again. A 150-gram portion of salmon can provide about 30 grams of very high-quality protein. High quality refers to its complete amino acid profile, including a generous amount of leucine. Leucine is what scientists call a trigger amino acid for muscle protein synthesis, MPS, the process by which the body repairs and builds muscle tissue. After 50, our body becomes a bit more resistant to protein stimulation, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. This means we need a larger dose of protein, and especially leucine, in a meal to effectively activate MPS. Dinner is a particularly strategic time for this, as it provides the body with the necessary building blocks for repair and growth that occur during sleep. If this deep analysis of protein is clarifying your doubts, please click the like button. This helps us reach more men who can benefit from this information. Consuming a protein-rich meal like salmon at night is not just about feeding muscles. It's about sending a powerful signal to the body to keep itself strong, metabolically active, and resilient. But there's another signal, a hormonal signal, that can also be positively influenced by a hidden nutrient in this fish. In addition to healthy fat and top-notch protein, salmon is one of the few natural food sources of another vital nutrient for male health after 50, vitamin D. Often called the sunshine vitamin, vitamin D functions more like a prohormone in the body, regulating hundreds of genes and biological processes. Although our body can produce it from sun exposure, many of us, especially at certain latitudes or during winter, have insufficient or frankly deficient levels. And this deficiency has been increasingly associated with a crucial factor for male vitality: testosterone levels. Several scientific studies have explored this connection. Research published in the Journal of Hormone and Metabolic Research observed that men with higher vitamin D levels also had significantly higher total and free testosterone levels compared to men with vitamin deficiency. Another study, a randomized clinical trial, supplemented men with vitamin D for 1 year and found that their testosterone levels increased, while the placebo group saw no change. The exact mechanism is still being studied, but it is believed that vitamin D can reduce the conversion of testosterone to estrogen and improve the sensitivity of androgen receptors in cells. It is crucial to understand: consuming salmon will not cure low testosterone. This is a complex medical condition that requires professional evaluation. However, ensuring your body has adequate vitamin D levels is providing one of the fundamental prerequisites for your endocrine system to function optimally. It's about creating the right conditions for the body to produce and utilize its hormones as best as possible. The combination of protein for muscle mass, omega-3s for cardiovascular health, and vitamin D for hormonal support creates a solid foundation for energy and well-being. But we're not done yet. There's one last component, the secret behind salmon's vibrant color, that adds an extra layer of cellular protection. That deep red-orange hue of wild salmon is not just aesthetically pleasing, it is the visual signature of one of nature's most formidable antioxidants, astaxanthin. This compound belongs to the carotenoid family, the same family that gives color to carrots and tomatoes, but its unique molecular structure confers extraordinary properties. Most antioxidants work by donating or accepting electrons to neutralize free radicals. Astaxanthin is special because its long structure allows it to position itself across the entire cell membrane, protecting both the inner, water-soluble, and outer, fat-soluble, parts of the cell against oxidative attack. This is particularly important for our mitochondria, the energy powerhouses we mentioned earlier. Mitochondria generate an enormous amount of free radicals as a byproduct of energy production. Astaxanthin has been shown in laboratory studies to be up to 6,000 times more potent than vitamin C and hundreds of times more potent than vitamin E in certain metrics of antioxidant activity. What does this mean in practice? It means robust protection for your cells against daily wear and tear. Animal studies and some preliminary human studies suggest that astaxanthin can help improve stamina and reduce exercise-induced muscle damage, which translates into faster and more efficient recovery. By protecting mitochondria, it helps maintain energy production at optimal levels, fighting fatigue at its source. Therefore, when you eat a wild salmon fillet, you're not just consuming fat and protein, you're ingesting a protective compound that permeates your cells, defending them from the stress that accelerates aging. Understanding the scientific why behind this recommendation is the first step. Now, let's turn that knowledge into action. How exactly do we implement this practically and safely into our routine? Knowing that salmon is beneficial is one thing. Incorporating it into your diet effectively and safely is another. Let's look at the practical guidelines. First, quality matters. Whenever possible, opt for wild-caught salmon instead of farmed. Wild salmon tends to have a more favorable fat profile with a higher omega-3 to omega-6 ratio and much higher levels of astaxanthin, which it obtains from its natural diet of algae and krill. Farmed salmon can be an alternative, but its nutritional profile can vary depending on the feed it receives. The frequency recommended by most health guidelines, such as those from the American Heart Association, is at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week. A serving is about 100 to 150 grams, the size of your palm or a deck of cards. The cooking method is crucial to preserve the delicate omega-3 fatty acids. Avoid deep frying, as high temperatures can damage these fats. Gentler methods like baking, grilling, steaming, or the en papillote technique, wrapped in parchment paper, are ideal. Season with herbs, lemon, garlic, and olive oil to add more antioxidants and flavor, rather than heavy, creamy sauces. To create a truly powerful meal, combine your salmon with a large serving of dark leafy greens, like spinach or kale, and a source of slow-digesting complex carbohydrates, such as sweet potato or quinoa. This will provide additional fiber, vitamins, and minerals, creating a balanced meal that sustains energy levels longer and supports gut health. Remember, consistency is more important than perfection. Starting with one salmon meal per week is already a fantastic step. But this change, powerful as it may be, should be seen as part of a broader, integrated approach to your health. And there's one final consideration that is absolutely essential to ensure this is beneficial specifically for you. It's crucial to understand that no single food, not even a superfood like salmon, is a magic bullet. The incredible benefits we've discussed are enhanced when placed in the context of a healthy lifestyle. This means combining your strategic nutrition with regular physical activity, especially strength training to combat sarcopenia, ensuring quality sleep, which is when most of the body's repair happens, and managing stress, which is a big driver of inflammation. Food is a powerful tool, but it is one tool within a complete toolbox. And the most important guidance of all is our medical disclaimer. The information shared in this video is for educational and informational purposes based on publicly available scientific research. It does not, in any way, replace the advice of a qualified healthcare professional. Before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have pre-existing health conditions such as kidney or heart problems, or if you are taking medications such as anticoagulants, it is absolutely imperative that you consult your doctor or a registered dietitian. They can assess your individual health, your blood tests, and your specific needs to ensure that this change is safe and appropriate for you. We are passionate about empowering you with knowledge, but the application of that knowledge should always be supervised by a professional. We want you to thrive, and the safest path to that is through a partnership with your healthcare team. And now, we'd like to hear from you. What is your biggest question or challenge about food and energy after 50? Leave your comment below, as your question might become the topic of our next video. And if you found value in this content, don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend who might also benefit. Thank you for watching and see you next time.